The story opens with Captain Mark standing on the bridge of the human colony ship New Dawn, watching the final transmission from Earth. The blue marble that had been humanity's home for millions of years now glows with nuclear fire. Alien warships from the Krell Empire circle the dying planet like vultures. 3 days earlier, the Krell had sent their ultimatum: surrender all human colonies and submit to their rule or face extinction. Humanity's response had been swift, a single word transmitted across all frequencies: never. The Krell retaliation was brutal and complete. They didn't just attack Earth's military installations. They targeted everything: cities, farms, forests, oceans. 12,000 nuclear warheads turned humanity's birth world into a radioactive wasteland in less than 6 hours. Mark remembers his last conversation with Admiral Ross back on Earth. The old man had been calm, almost peaceful. "The colonies are humanity's future now," Ross had said. "Make sure we have one." Now, as Mark watches the final automated distress signals fade from Earth's surface, he knows that 47 human colonies scattered across 32 star systems are all that remain of their species. 2 billion souls spread thin across the galaxy, far from the 8 billion who died screaming in nuclear fire. But the Krell made one critical mistake. They assumed humans would break, would surrender, would beg for mercy after witnessing such destruction. They didn't understand that humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to turn grief into rage, loss into determination. In the depths of space, hidden in asteroid fields and nebulae, human engineers and scientists work with desperate efficiency. The colonial fleets weren't just civilian vessels. They carried the blueprints, the knowledge, and the industrial capacity to rebuild everything humanity had lost. Mark calls his senior officers to the bridge: Colonel Hart from the Marines, Dr. Lewis from the Science Division, and Engineer Tom from the construction crews. Together, they represent the 3 pillars of humanity's response: warfare, knowledge, and industry. "The Krell think they've won," Mark tells them, his voice steady, despite the rage burning in his chest. "They think humans are like them, that will surrender when faced with overwhelming force. They're about to learn why that was their biggest mistake." The meeting is short but decisive. Every human colony receives the same message: activate protocol 7. It's a plan that had been theoretical until 3 days ago: the complete militarization of human space. Every mining ship becomes a weapons platform. Every research station becomes a fortress. Every colony becomes a military base. The Krell had destroyed Earth thinking it would break humanity's spirit. Instead, they had just given 47 colonies a single unified purpose: total war. As the New Dawn changes course toward the Kepler station shipyards, Mark looks once more at the dying light of Earth on his screens. A planet that had given birth to humanity was gone, but its children were very much alive. And they were very, very angry. 6 months after Earth's destruction, the human colonies had transformed beyond recognition. The Kepler station, once a simple mining and research outpost, now spans 3 asteroid belts and produces more warships than the entire Krell Empire. Engineer Tom walks through the massive construction bays where humanity's new fleet takes shape. These aren't the sleek, elegant vessels favored by other species. Human ships are brutal, practical things built for one purpose only. The first of the new Dreadnought-class vessels is nearly complete. The Earth's Revenge stretches 2 kilometers from bow to stern, bristling with weapons that human engineers have designed specifically to kill. Krell. Tom runs his hand along the hull plating, each section forged from the metal of Earth's moon, which human mining fleets had stripped bare in their fury. Dr. Lewis has been working around the clock in the research labs. Humanity had always been behind other species in energy weapons and shield technology, but grief and rage make excellent motivators. In 6 months, human scientists have made leaps that should have taken decades. The breakthrough came from studying Krell wreckage pieces of their ships that humanity had captured in small skirmishes. Lewis discovered that Krell technology relied heavily on quantum resonance fields. Human weapons now carry disruptor frequencies that can tear apart Krell shields like paper. But the real innovation is in human tactics. Colonel Hart has been training a new generation of Marine soldiers who have watched their homeworld die and want nothing more than revenge. These aren't the peacekeeping forces of old Earth. These are weapons of war, forged in loss and tempered by hatred. The training is brutal, but necessary. Hart knows that when humans finally face the Krell in ground combat, mercy will be a luxury they cannot afford. The enemy had shown no mercy to Earth's children, and they would receive none in return. Meanwhile, across the colonies, every human settlement has become a fortress. Mining operations have been converted to ammunition production. Agricultural stations now grow both food and the biological components for chemical weapons. Research facilities develop new ways to kill Krell more efficiently. Captain Mark has been promoted to Admiral, commanding humanity's growing fleet from the bridge of the New Dawn. He coordinates with colony leaders across human space, ensuring that every ship, every weapon, every soldier is ready for what's coming. The Krell had made their second mistake 6 months ago. They had given humanity time to prepare. After destroying Earth, they had withdrawn to their core systems, confident that the scattered human colonies would either surrender or fight among themselves. They couldn't imagine that grief could unite a species so completely. Intelligence. Reports filter in from human spy networks. The Krell Empire spans 12 systems and controls over 50 worlds. Their fleet outnumbers humanity's by 10 to 1. By any logical measure, humanity should surrender. But logic died with Earth. Mark stands in the strategic planning room, surrounded by holographic displays showing human and Krell positions throughout the galaxy. Red dots mark Krell worlds and fleets. Blue dots show human colonies and battle groups. The math is simple, and terrifying. Humanity is vastly outnumbered. Quantity has a quality all its own, Mark says to his staff, quoting an old Earth general. But so does fury. The final ship rolls out of the Kepler Station shipyards, the Terra's Wrath, a super dreadnought that carries enough firepower to crack a planet's crust. It's the largest ship humanity has ever built, and it won't be the last. As Admiral Mark watches the great ship take its place in the growing fleet, he thinks about Earth's final transmission. It had been a simple message, broadcast from the planet's surface as nuclear fire consumed everything. Remember us. Humanity would remember. And soon, the Krell would understand the difference between defeating a species and making them extinct. Earth's children were ready for war. Asterisk, the first battle comes at the Proxima system, a small Krell outpost guarding the approaches to their core worlds. Admiral Mark leads the human fleet personally, 57 warships, carrying the fury of a dead world. The Krell commander, Admiral Vex, expects easy victory. Intelligence reports suggest the humans have rebuilt some of their military capacity, but surely nothing that could threaten a proper Krell battle fleet. Vex commands over 100 ships, including 3 heavy cruisers that had participated in Earth's destruction. The battle begins at maximum range. Krell energy weapons reach out across space, expecting to shatter human shields and hulls with ease. Instead, their weapons splash harmlessly against new human deflector systems. Dr. Lewis's research has paid off. Human shields now resonate at frequencies that disperse Krell energy completely. Mark's response is immediate and devastating. All ships open fire. No prisoners. Human weapons are different now. Where Krell ships use elegant energy beams, human vessels unleash torrents of kinetic projectiles, mass drivers that fire chunks of Earth's moon at near light speed. The rounds punch through Krell shields like they don't exist. The first Krell. Ship dies in seconds, its hull split open by a tungsten slug traveling at 90% of light speed. Then the second. Then the third. Admiral Vex watches in horror as his fleet dies around him. This isn't how space combat is supposed to work. Battles should be elegant affairs, decided by superior technology and tactics. This is butchery. Colonel Hart leads the boarding parties that assault crippled Krell ships. His Marines show no mercy. They remember Earth burning, remember the 8 billion dead. Krell crew members who try to surrender are cut down without hesitation. This isn't conquest. It's extermination. The battle lasts 4 hours. When it ends, the entire Krell fleet is destroyed. Not a single ship escapes to carry word back to Krell High Command. Human losses are minimal, 3 ships damaged. None destroyed. Mark walks through the wreckage field afterward, studying the drifting hulks of Krell vessels. Each one represents dozens of enemy crew members who will never threaten another human world. It's a good start, but only a start. The second battle comes a month later at the Centuri mining station. The Krell send a larger fleet, this time 200 ships, under the command of war leader Kex, one of their most experienced commanders. Kex has studied the Proxima battle recordings. He knows human weapons are dangerous, but he's confident that superior numbers will carry the day. The Krell have been the galaxy's dominant military power for 3 centuries. They've conquered 17 species. Humans will be the 18th. Mark meets the Krell fleet with 93 human warships, including the super dreadnought Terra's Wrath. The battle unfolds in 3 dimensions. Ships maneuvering through the asteroid field while exchanging devastating fire. This time, the Krell are ready for human tactics. They stay at extreme range, using their numerical advantage to focus fire on individual human ships. For a moment, it seems like their strategy might work. Then Mark springs his trap. Hidden among the asteroids are dozens of human missile platforms, automated weapon systems that had been waiting in silence. They launch simultaneously, filling space with thousands of nuclear-tipped projectiles. The Krell point defense systems, designed to stop energy weapons, are useless against the missile swarm. Entire squadrons of enemy ships vanish in nuclear fire. War leader Kex tries to retreat, but human ships are faster now. Powered by fusion engines that burn at temperatures approaching those found in stellar cores, they run down fleeing Krell. Vessels like wolves hunting deer. The battle ends with complete human victory. 200 Krell ships become radioactive debris. This time, the human fleet captures several enemy vessels intact, along with their crews. Colonel Hart oversees the interrogations personally. The Krell prisoners are terrified. They've never faced an enemy that fights with such relentless hatred. Under questioning, they reveal the locations of major Krell military bases and the defensive plans for their core worlds. As reports of the victories spread through human space, something changes in the colonies. For the first time since Earth's destruction, people dare to hope, not just for survival, but for victory. Complete. Total victory. Mark studies the intelligence gathered from Krell prisoners. The enemy has 12 core worlds, defended by thousands of ships. The odds are still overwhelming, but humans have tasted blood now. They've seen Krell ships burn. Earth's children are no longer running. They're hunting. Colonel Hart leads the boarding parties that assault crippled Krell ships. His Marines show no mercy. They remember Earth burning, remember the 8 billion dead. Krell crew members who tried to surrender are cut down without hesitation. This isn't conquest. It's extermination. The battle lasts 4 hours. When it ends, the entire Krell fleet is destroyed. Not a single ship escapes to carry word back to Krell High Command. Human losses are minimal, 3 ships damaged, none destroyed. Mark walks through the wreckage field afterward, studying the drifting hulks. of Krell vessels. Each one represents dozens of enemy crew members who will never threaten another human world. It's a good start, but only a start. The second battle comes a month later at the Centuri mining station. The Krell send a larger fleet this time, too. 100 ships under the command of war leader Kex, one of their most experienced commanders. Kex has studied the Proxima battle recordings. He knows human weapons are dangerous, but he's confident that superior numbers will carry the day. The Krell have been the galaxy's dominant military power for 3 centuries. They've conquered 17 species. Humans will be the 18th dot mark. Meets the Krell fleet with 93 human warships, including the super dreadnought Terra's Wrath. The battle unfolds in 3 dimensions, ships maneuvering through the asteroid field while exchanging devastating fire. This time, the Krell are ready for human tactics. They stay at extreme range, using their numerical advantage to focus fire on individual human ships. For a moment, it seems like their strategy might work. Then Mark springs his trap. Hidden among the asteroids are dozens of human missile platforms automated, weapon systems that had been waiting in silence. They launch simultaneously, filling space with thousands of nuclear-tipped projectiles. The Krell point defense systems, designed to stop energy weapons, are useless against the missile swarm. Entire squadrons of enemy ships vanish in nuclear fire. War leader Kex tries to retreat, but human ships are faster now. Powered by fusion engines that burn at temperatures approaching those found in stellar cores, they run down fleeing Krell. Vessels like wolves hunting deer. The battle ends with complete human victory. 200 Krell ships become radioactive debris. This time, the human fleet captures several enemy vessels intact, along with their crews. Colonel Hart oversees the interrogations personally. The Krell prisoners are terrified. They've never faced an enemy that fights with such relentless hatred. Under questioning, they reveal the locations of major Krell military bases and the defensive plans for their core worlds. As reports of the victories spread through human space, something changes in the colonies. For the first time since Earth's destruction, people dare to hope. Not just for survival, but for victory. Complete. Total Victory. Mark studies the intelligence gathered from Krell prisoners. The enemy has 12 core worlds, defended by thousands of ships. The odds are still overwhelming, but humans have tasted blood now. They've seen Krell ships burn. Earth's children are no longer running. They're hunting. Intelligence reports arrive daily from human spy networks throughout Krell space. The enemy is fracturing. Some worlds want to negotiate surrender. Others prepare for final battles. A few have already begun evacuating their populations to distant galaxies. But humanity offers no terms, accepts no surrender, grants no mercy. The Krell had taught them that war could be total. Now they would learn what that lesson looked like when applied by a species with nothing left to lose. As the human fleet prepares for the final offensive against the Krell core worlds. Mark issues a general order to all human forces. Remember, Earth, remember the 8 billion. No survivors. The hunting season was ending. The extermination was about to begin. Asterisk, the final assault on the Krell core worlds begins 2 years after Earth's destruction. Admiral Mark commands a fleet of 600 human warships, the largest armada in galactic history. Every vessel carries weapons designed for one purpose: the complete annihilation of the Krell species. The enemy has had months to prepare their defenses. The 12 core worlds bristle with orbital fortresses, minefields, and defensive fleets. War leader Prime Zek has gathered every surviving Krell ship, nearly 2,000 vessels, for humanity's final test. But the Krell have fundamentally misunderstood their enemy. They still think this is a war between civilizations, a conflict that will end with negotiated surrender and territorial concessions. They don't realize they're facing their own extinction. The first target is Vega Prime, the industrial heart of the Krell Empire. The planet's orbital defenses are formidable plasma cannons that can vaporize capital ships, shield generators powered by the planet's core, automated defense platforms that have protected the system for centuries. Mark's attack is methodical and overwhelming. Wave after wave of human ships assault the defenses, accepting massive casualties to clear paths for the super dreadnoughts. The Earth's Revenge leads the final assault, its main guns firing projectiles that strike with the force of nuclear weapons. The battle for Vega Prime lasts 18 hours. When it ends, the planet's surface is molten glass, and its orbital infrastructure is radioactive debris. 3 million Krell die in the bombardment. Human losses are heavy, 47 ships destroyed, but the fleet presses on without pause. General Hart leads ground forces on worlds where the Krell attempt to surrender. His troops have evolved beyond soldiers into instruments of species-wide vengeance. They show no mercy to military personnel, no compassion for civilians, no consideration for non-combatants. The distinction between warrior and victim died with. Earth. The second core world, Altair Major, falls in 4 days. The third, Deneb Station, surrenders without firing a shot, not that it matters. Human forces glass the planet anyway, adding another billion Krell dead to the tally. War Leader Prime. Zek makes increasingly desperate attempts to contact human leadership. He offers territorial concessions, technological exchanges, tribute payments, even the execution of officers responsible for Earth's destruction. Every transmission receives the same response: silence. Dr. Lewis has developed humanity's final weapon, the Genesis device, a quantum bomb that can ignite a planet's atmosphere and turn any world into a temporary star. It's tested on Procyon. Beta, a Krell agricultural world with 2 billion inhabitants. The planet burns for 6 days, visible from surrounding systems as a new sun in their skies. By the war's 3rd year, only 4 Krell core worlds remain. Their surviving population has fallen from 50 billion to less than 8 billion roughly, the same number that died when Earth burned. The parallel is intentional and exact. The Battle of Nexus Prime, the Krell capital, becomes the final engagement of the war. Zek has concentrated every remaining ship in a desperate defense of his species' birthworld. The battle fleet includes vessels from 20 allied species races that had served the Krell Empire for centuries. Mark brings his entire armada to Nexus Prime, 700 human ships carrying the concentrated hatred of a species that had lost everything. The battle is less a military engagement than a ritual of extinction. Human ships press attacks that defy military logic, ramming enemy vessels when their weapons run dry, continuing to fight even as their hulls break apart. The crew of the Never Forget manually detonate their fusion reactor inside a Krell dreadnought, taking both ships in nuclear fire. When Zek's flagship is boarded, he faces Mark personally in the ship's command center. The Krell leader is ancient. By his species standards, a warrior who had conquered 17 civilizations. He expects to die with some dignity, perhaps to negotiate terms for his surviving people. Instead, Mark shoots him with a sidearm forged from Earth's melted cities, and broadcasts the execution across all frequencies. The message to any surviving Krell is simple: this is how your species ends. The bombardment of Nexus Prime continues for 7 days. Human ships take turns firing on the planet's surface until every city is crater glass, every ocean is steam. Every trace of Krell civilization is burning debris. As the last Krell world dies, Mark stands on the bridge of the Terra's wrath and thinks about Earth's final transmission. Remember us. The 8 billion dead have been remembered. Their deaths have been avenged with the extinction of an entire species. Humanity's dreadnought fleet turns toward home, carrying news of total victory to the colonies. Earth's children had learned war from the species that destroyed their birthworld. Now the Krell Empire exists only in the historical records of the civilizations they once ruled. The galaxy had seen what happened when humanity's homeworld burned. Now it would learn to fear the species that survived.